Hey y'all, welcome to Steph's Design Space. If you're new here, welcome. If you are returning, thank you. My name is Stephanie and today we are going to be working on ruffled paper. Here's a few examples that I have done. This is double-sided. Some are double-sided, some are not. This is complicated for me. I know it's ridiculous, but it is. And I thought, you know what, maybe it's complicated for other people too. So I thought I would just show you my way of doing this, and we'll go from there. These are all glued. I will sew a few of them so you can see what it looks like. But to be honest with you, I will glue it first. I am no seamstress. I've said that 1,000 times, and I will say it again. Okay, so this, all of these I have scored. I'm going to show you why. I'm here in a minute. These I have not because I wanted to show you how to score it on here. But these are already scored. So I'm going to fold one that is scored. And then this one I'm going to fold and it has no score. And you'll see the difference, at least for me. All right, let's just do this one right here. Okay, so I don't know if you can see the score lines or not, but it is scored. And then I have to do it backwards. If I do it frontwards, it messes my brain up. So I just have to follow the score lines. Oops, and fold. Now the concept is super easy, but it without the guide of the score lines, I get very discombobulated, very confused. Now I will say, once I figured out how to do these for myself, I am in love. Okay, see? Come on. There we go. So this is like that. And then all I do, and you can ink it up like this, or you can ink it after. It depends on what you want to do, or you don't have to ink it at all. And then all I do is take the art glitter glue and put a little bead down and then smush. And a little bead and smush. I have some that, and I'm going to show you, because generally you're using, I mean, the longest paper you can use generally is like the 12 by 12, right? But when you fold it all up, it shrinks up to where it's not quite long enough if you want it to do like a page border. And so I do have one where I glued it together, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. Okay, so this is what it will look like, okay, minus that little goof. And let's just say that we have a page. This is my practice page here. So this would not go all the way down, right? But it will go like on a journal card as a tab, or you can put it in the middle as a decoration. Honestly, you could put it across the bottom, whatever you wanted to do. So there's other ways that you can use this in your journals. Okay, so that is how I fold it, by scoring. This is paper I made from a napkin, actually. And I'm going to attempt, the problem with me doing it like this is the spacing. Wait, I have to go under. Okay, I did that wrong. For me, I have to go like, up, up, yeah, see, and it's not, for the life of me, trying to do it like this, it is not going to be even. Like, these are all going to be different sizes. Not that it's going to look bad, right? And it definitely takes me, oh, I don't know if it takes me longer, but Anyway, this is doing it, see that one's not right. This is doing it without measuring and scoring. Up, up, up. And then that. So you're really just folding it upon itself. This stresses me out. I don't like the unevenness of it. But again, that is definitely a me problem. Now I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to fix it or anything like that because I think there is beauty in non-perfection. But for me personally, I want to enjoy my craft. And if it's stressing me out, then I'm not enjoying it. So if I can find a way to achieve the look that I want and reduce the stress, then that's what I'm going to do, right? I mean, that's what we should all do. This should not become stressful. And there are certain things that, you know, I don't find enjoyable because it does stress me out, so I just don't do them. But I'm missing out. So I have devised a way for me personally that makes making these paper ruffles enjoyable. And that is by, did I glue that? Yes. Measuring and scoring. And we're fixing to do that next so I can show you. And then these can just be used in any of your crafts. I use them in my denim pearl and lace journal, and I loved it. So there we go. And this is going to look good, right? It's still going to look good. It's just, it doesn't look the way I want it to look. You can also cut these in half. Like once you have it done, if you haven't sewn it, you can cut it in half. If you want something a little smaller, you can cut it in half this way. Let's just say if I wanted to make this just a little tab, I could cut it like right here and that would be fine. So you can, there are options. Okay, now let me get out the scoreboard and these two pieces, and it's easy scoring. Okay, so we have out the scoreboard. And I am going to attempt, I've never done this before, which I know seems ridiculous, but I have the two pieces, and I'm just going to try to score them together so I'm not having to take double time. I got this from the Dollar Tree. It's like a quilling thing, I don't remember what it's called. I use the smaller tip, not the larger tip. And then we are going to score at 1, and then 1 1/4. And then 2, oops, you have to stay put. 2, oh. And 2 1/4. So really it is on the inch and then the quarter right after that. So 3 and then 3 1/4. 4, and this is just the measurements I came up with to make me happy. I thought about maybe doing the 1/8 so they're super close together, but I haven't ventured that far yet. So 5 1/4, making sure that they stay lined up against the side. 6 and then 6 1/4. Easy measurements. And honestly, if you had like a 12 by 12 sheet you wanted to use, you could score the whole sheet and then cut it to the desired width. I want to say, I don't know, these are a little under 2 inches in width. But you can make them whatever width you want. Because I do have some over here that are, I just went through my my scrap box and just pulled out strips to use. Okay, and then we have 11 and 11 1/4. All right, these are done. And then we are going to fold those. Put this back. Let me get that out just in case I need it. Okay, with the score lines, it's easier to see and to fold. But I think for me it is still easier if I go backwards. Like upside down, however you want to call this. The cats are playing and getting into whatever. I just heard a weird noise. So we're just folding this back and then this forward, right? So if you can't tell what I'm doing, so the top one I am folding back, and then the other one goes forward, so it looks like that, right? Just when you're doing it quickly, because I can see. And like I said, we can ink these up, and I will show you what that looks like. So we'll ink these up. So this one is done. Just trying to get a little bit crisper fold. So that one's done. And let's do this one. So this is going to attach right there, I think. I'll have to look at it again when it's all done and make sure. But that is, I will show you the longer one that I glued together, but we're going to glue this one together too. Now, I have yet to figure out how to do this with fabric. And I know there's a way. I see people do it all the time. Now, what I have thought about doing is, it's because when I try to sew it, I can't keep it folded. Again, I am no seamstress whatsoever. But, you know, it's something that I will attempt to learn. But already the sewing machine intimidates me. So, okay. Now, let's go ahead and ink these up. I was using Scorched Timber because it's such a good dark color. And it's such a contrast. And I was using the ink, the distressed ink, not the oxide, because I'm not going to be using water. I don't need it to react. So we're just going to do all of the edges. And this is just going to give it a really fun, vintagey, grungy kind of look. I think Scorched Timber is definitely a grunge color, and it's funny that I'm putting it on blue, but I like to grunge up colors, not just, you know, neutrals. Okay, and then we're going to take the part that's going to stick out and grunge that up. So the bigger fold, not the smaller fold. So when I say bigger, right, this is the bigger fold and that is the smaller. We want the bigger, not the small one, because that's what's going to be seen. And I was talking to a friend of mine, I don't remember which one, sorry, about how the way I use the daubers sometimes, I just chew through these daubers so much. Okay, so that one's done. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to speed through this one because y'all don't need to watch that. Okay, so those are inked up, and then I had this thought when I was inking it. This is plain, right? How about if we make it not so plain? I have a thought. Sorry, I probably should have just edited that out, but, and maybe I will if I remember. Okay, so I am thinking, you know, if you don't have it, make it. So going to just go ahead and take the scorched timber. Let me see if I like the scorched timber, if it's going to show up well. Yes. Okay, and we are just going to do that. So we will make it to where there's like script on here. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay if it's skipping spots. Like, I'm not trying to, I don't even know what it's going to look like as a finished product. We will see. Okay, so we have that one. And we're going to do this one because I am going to glue them together to make a long piece. So it will be large enough to go on a full sheet. Oh my gosh, that is going to look amazing. And a bit more. See, these things just pop into my head. I hadn't planned on doing this. It didn't even occur to me until I was inking it. And I was like, oh, I bet that would look fantabulous. So that's where creativity happens in the moment. And we shall embrace it and take it. All right. Okay, let me put this up. Okay, now we're going to have to kind of refold, but I'm going to do that and glue it. But first, I need to make sure this is a continuation. Yeah, so that's going to glue on there. Perfect. Okay, this is... I have to glue it this way. Brain and how it works. Okay, so y'all know that I just take and glue the little short edge, right? So we're gonna do that. So I'm just gonna let those stick for just a second. I just put those on there. Honestly, it just helps me keep it in order. And then these are going to glue. So I am going to glue this one under right there. I know it's not a good way to show y'all, but there we have it. Okay, so now this piece is longer and it can fit, I mean, obviously it would have to trim, but it will fit on the edge of a page. So that is how you would take two pieces and glue them together to make a longer piece. And I did the same thing on this one right here. Believe it or not, it's the same scrapbook paper. It just was variated. So we have that. Some I do have, like these I did. And I just thought they would be good as tabs on like a journal card. Like that would be a very cute little tab coming out of a journal card like that. You know what I mean? Then I could flip it that way if I wanted to. So that is a good way to use up like your small scraps, and if you wanted to have the top, whatever, like that. So that is a like I said, it's a good way to use up scraps. Now even if I sew these, and I am going to sew a few, I'm going to sew it off camera and then just bring it back, because God knows if I try to sew it on camera, I will have 7,000 complications. The only key thing to sewing things that you have glued is to make sure the glue has actually dried, or it will ruin your needle. I have used scrapbook paper. I've used thicker scrapbook paper. This is paper. And it folds. Honestly, paper, you know, a thinner GSM. Like scrapbook paper is generally 65 or higher. But some of the scrapbook paper, like you get in the scrapbook section, was actually just much thinner paper, because it was made just to be backgrounds inside of like a photo album type thing. So that paper is generally easier to fold. And that's another reason why I like my scoring method, is because the thicker the paper, the more difficult. You would think I didn't score this at all. Like, I am talking about how easy this is supposed to be, and I'm over here on the struggle bus. I forgot what I was saying. But the thicker the paper, the more challenging it is to fold. So by scoring it and measuring it, I have full control over folding it, the size, and all of that kind of stuff. And it reduces my stress level. So hopefully this has helped some of y'all. Like, just see how maybe a different take on making ruffles, paper ruffles. And I do love them absolutely so much in my journals. And there is, so you saw how I stamped on that one, but you could also, now this one obviously is beautiful paper and it does not need any stamping, but let's see. I don't have any left that are just plain. But I could do it like on here, right? I could, before I glued it down, I could have stamped the individual, whatchamacallits. And I did that in one of them that I put in the denim journal. So I'm going to show you that really quick. So this one right here I made. But before I glued it together, I got little stamps and I stamped each individual section. So it's very decorative. So you can do that too. Stickers, rub-ons, anything, you know, that you want to add to them, absolutely you can. Okay. All right. So we have these. Now I promised y'all that I would sew some. I think I'm going to sew this one, and I don't want to sew that one. Like, this is a very small one, right? Like, it folded, it's like that. I'm thinking I can cut it in half, and this would make a beautiful tag on the side of something, right? A little tab just sticking out. So I can cut it in half this way, and it's just like two little folds, but it's like so pretty. Or it can just stick out like that, so it can be the decoration. Actually, I really like that. And then the tab is sticking out. So anyway, I do like those. I think I'm gonna sew this one. Gonna sew this one. Let's show that one. Really, I think they all will get sewn. Maybe not that one. These, no. Do we want to fold one more? Oh, there's one for music. Let's fold one more, and then I'm going to go sew, and then I will come back for the end. How about that? Okay. I want the music to be the front, so because I have a music journal that I will be starting soon. one of the sub box, well, the next sub box that's coming out is actually vintage music. And it has some beautiful stuff in it. Beautiful vintage items. I can't wait. But I will already have some ruffles to put on my pages. I've noticed too, some of this scrapbook paper, the art glitter glue is like, nah, I don't think I'm going to stick like I'm supposed to. Of course, I'm being very impatient and not even giving it like half a second to stick down. But you know, patience has never been my strong suit. I know, shocker. That's why being in a foot boot right now, because apparently I sprained my ankle. I don't know how. Come on, glue. And tore a ligament. So I am in a boot. And it has made things so slow. Oh my gosh, just trying to get around. And if I do too much, it's super painful and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I don't do well with sitting around, not being able to do as I please. Anyway, all right, I'm going to get the sewing machine. Excuse me. I'm going to sew some of these up so you know what they look like. And then we will be back. Okay, I am back and they are sewn, and I am so glad I did not do that on camera. What a nightmare. Because I had white thread in there from when I did the denim journal, so I had to change it to black. I have trouble every time I have to change that stupid bobbin. Anyway, here are the ones that I sewed. I decided to try different stitching and to go, like I did this down the middle. Not a fan. Okay, not a fan of that stitching down the middle. I am a fan of this stitching down the middle. So I know that I like, that's number one, I think, better than whatever that was. And I did this one the same way. I like the smaller stitching down the middle. And I don't mind the bigger on the side. And I thought, you know, if I'm going to do this like as a little tab sticking out, that would look really cool sticking out of a journal, right? Just to have that little sewing. And the same thing here, although I did it backwards, but it could go on this side and stick out on a page. But that's, you know, that's facing that way. So again, and honestly, it could go right across the top or the bottom or wherever you want it. So these are the ones that I sewed. So I sewed these, and then these I just left glued without sewing. And these I haven't folded yet, but I will off camera. I mean, you only want to watch me fold things so often. You know what I mean? Like, I know personally I get bored if I'm watching someone do the same thing over and over and over again. So I don't want to bore y'all. But this one's nice. This one has bees on it. So that's going to be a nice addition. This is just pretty flowers. And then, of course, this is that one. So that is what we have accomplished today. And you can tell the ones that sew, they, you know, stay down. These kind of curl up until you stick them on something. So, like once you glue it on a page, it's not going to curl up. The sewing does kind of make it more flat, but that's okay. So that, my loves, my friends, is what we did today. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. What are some other techniques and things that maybe you're like, I have seen this, but I can't for the life of me wrap my head around how to do it? Message me, leave me a comment, and I will see if I can come up with a way that makes sense to your brain, because my brain also has problems. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me in all the places, and until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Bye.